Hey, it's 4D. Hey, what's good? It's 4D.
We about to do this interview with Rare Radar.
So stay tuned.
Rare Radar.
Whoa.
Rare Radar.
The radar. It's rare as fuck.
How did you guys create 4D? Like, how did you guys meet?
Niggas had a house. You know, so I was 19, 18. I was 18. They was like 17. And
That's a lot. We got not 1 year and
16.
Yeah,
Whatever.
like
And I was 19, they was 17. Yeah. 'Cause that's when I graduated high school.
school.
And I had my own like apartment. And I was making beats at the time, so started off with me making beats for them, and then eventually, through trials and tribulations, niggas started hanging out more often, and then like making life experience together beyond just making songs together. So eventually, we started calling ourselves 4D. What was it, 2015?
Yeah.
2015. So yeah, it was quite some time ago. But this is before we actually, you know what I'm saying, figured out all the shit it take to be rappers. You know what I'm saying, to rap group shit like that. So back then, that's how we met though. Me making beats for them and shit.
What makes you rare as far as your collective as a group?
Honestly, like, I don't really see a lot of people in the city making music like us. Like, there's nothing else that you could kind of pull from the city to be like, oh yeah, this sounds like 4D kind of thing. So I think that's what kind of makes us stand out amongst everybody else for the most part.
Yeah, I think what makes us stand out, well, not, what makes us stand out, but what makes us rare is just that, you have 4 different real artists who have a whole different sound that they contribute to one song, so I feel like that'd be the best part of all of our music, well, most of our music, it's just that each song is kind of like every verse, or if somebody do a bridge or an ad-lib, it kind of just makes it their own, like, you know what I'm saying, different verses would be a whole nother experience,
And so what do you feel like is like the difference between, because all you guys do solo music as well, so what's the difference between doing a solo project and a collective project?
I could probably say, man, it's just, when you gotta get different perspectives, just like, I don't know, it's like you gotta shape it. You gotta shape a tape, so it's like, you gotta make sure everything lines up correct, and like, I don't know, it's like,
I mean, you can kind of say like we're more open to like criticism that way. When we
Yeah.
actually all have to work on the project together, because it's like.
yeah, and it's like, I've noticed myself, at least, when I make a tape, like a solo tape, I'll make all the songs, or a majority of the songs in like 2 weeks or like 3 weeks, but as far as this, you gotta have everybody's input on it, so it's like, you can't just necessarily rush it, but you gotta, you know what I mean, you gotta find the best way to put it together, so it sounds like one at least, you know what I mean?
So you guys have a new project entitled The Big Gang Theory coming out. So what was the process like creating this album compared to the other ones, the previous ones?
This is something we really, really took the most time on. Like, as far as like recording process to just like concepts that we wanted to do, as far as like any potential videos or just like how we wanted things to look when you hear it kind of thing. Like, everything kind of took a little bit more time this time around. So like we have some older songs that we ended up touching up and like re-editing and revamping. And then there was like brand new songs, like Nothing for Cheap was like a more recent song that we just kind of like pieced together and just threw out there.
So like, how did the pandemic affect you guys' recording process? Or what is your recording process like?
Alright, so it affected it in 2 different ways. One, we actually focused, honestly, on the project throughout the pandemic. Like, we hadn't focused on the project before the pandemic. So I think being in the crib kind of helped us focus on the project. But 2, we kind of go to multiple studio situations. And one of our studio situations is literally like COVID rules, like
one person at a time.
One person at a time. We have a group, you know what I'm saying? So we can only go in one person at a time. So we'd be like segmenting hours, like, all right, go work on the ad-libs at this time. We're gonna do this at this time. So we gotta schedule our studio time, you know what I'm saying? And between each other, you know. And so that was one thing that changed from the pandemic. But basically it helped us to focus on what we were trying to do without being distracted from, I guess, everyday life as much.
Cool. So as a collective, have you guys ever struggled creating a sound or coming up with a theme for a project?
Yeah.
3 years before this last year.
Because like up until now, like we'll always like bounce ideas off each other and things like that, but sometimes things just don't really work out like how we planned them to. Or maybe like, let's say before now we weren't as patient with
Yeah.
things. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
that's
we would hear something and be like, bro, we gotta drop this like now. Like, what are you talking about? Like, but now it's like, all right, let's save this because this has potential, and let's make an actual plan for it now
Right.
instead of just record, drop, record, drop, record, drop.
Like an example is like we made Solstice in the end of 2018, right around 2018, which is dropping on 420 the video shot by Keegan Jones. And we made it probably in 2018, but as we was building the album, we came up with the concept of like a summer side and a winter side. So we made a song called Equinox too. And this was 8 months after Solstice that we started making this song. And so we kind of just tried to build a full tape so it had both sides of, you know what I'm saying, the vibe we were trying to give off.
Yeah, Equinox is actually my favorite song.
Yeah,
Or-
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
project
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
really good. So like, who all did you guys work with in regards to production?
Alright, so as far as like St. Louis artists and producers, Orlando Vine, Matt the Drummer, Da Vinci, Mila Lee, 3, who else was it?
Sean
Q
Alexander.
Hall, Sean Alexander, the homeboy Alex, fire his verse on tape. Ice or Slim mixed 3 of the songs on the project. Actually, he mixed None for Cheap too. And the homeboy Louis, you know what I'm saying? Moneybag Lou mixed majority of the project, probably 11 tracks, you know what I'm saying, on the project.
Legendary Lou.
Yeah, okay. And so there was a lot of St. Louis people, but we also reached out to a lot of producers we found online that, because like he said, it's not a lot of music in the city that kind of sound like ours, so we had to outsource to create the sound, you know what I'm saying? We didn't work with only one producer. We had to work with a few producers to like merge together a sound, you know what I'm saying? And so throughout the tape, I think that our sound pretty much expressed throughout, you know what I'm saying, the variety of producers.
Yeah, like when I listen to you guys' music in comparison, because obviously there's no one in St. Louis that kind of sound like you, I would think of like Flatbush Zombies.
Yeah.
I love that. I kind of got that from that last project that y'all, like that last song that y'all released with the video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kind of got Flatbush Zombies vibes, but
That's all right.
who do you guys like look up to as far as music, or where do you get your inspiration from, if anyone?
I mean, you know, we all listen to different type of, you know, everything. I'd say personally for the tape, I feel like it's kind of, my writing process was kind of like a reflection of just what I listened to growing up. So just the way I, you know, hop on songs, maybe do a hook, it just kind of gives me at least a nostalgic feel of what I grew up listening to, which was, I can't even name Outkast, you know, like a lot of people. Like I can't even sit here and just name everybody, but as far as now, Smee, Zero Fatigue, what they did in Chicago, what they're doing in Chicago, that shit is hard. What y'all say?
Pharrell, I don't know how you did that, Pharrell.
He said Outkast, man,
Yeah.
bro, yeah, Pharrell. Honestly, Pharrell is like my biggest fucking inspiration.
I think y'all about honestly.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah, okay.
like I'm trying to, you know, recreate that sound, and just because I like how the early 2000s, because that's just my favorite period of music so far, I think. And I just like how it was kind of cultivated by just a few different people, and you can really hear their sounds and their, you know, inspiration in everybody's music.
Yeah.
I kind of want that for us, you know.
Yeah. And that's how kind of, not to say we sound like Pharrell, but the feeling that Pharrell, that I felt when I was a kid listening to Pharrell, it was like a new feel. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's making beats like that. Nobody's saying, he was doing it for everybody. Different genres, you know what I'm saying? So he was just offering his sound to the world pretty much. And I feel like that's what we trying to do, you know what I'm saying, in the future. Eventually when we grow our musical acumen.
So, in regards to the future, who would you want to do a collab with?
Are we talking about like tangible, or are we talking like for real? Because for real.
Either one.
Alright, cool.
Manifest. Either one.
Alright, cool.
I mean, like, of course we want like to work with like someone local and big like Smee, of course, or even like, you know, other artists like maybe like Xavier Omar, or like, you know, just like other artists that we can definitely hear ourselves like on the song with, of course.
Yeah, like I work with Vari, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that'd be fire as fuck. Shit, and you know, it's a lot of local artists that's doing their thing. Like we mentioned Ice Source Slim was an engineer, but he, you know, he's a rapper too. You know what I'm saying? He an artist too. So I work with him, you know, Marion. There's quite a few, you know what I'm saying, local artists doing their
We
thing.
need the turbo collab.
Bro, I was just sitting here literally days and thinking about that. Like, man,
I
bro,
just need the turbo collab.
like, man, Turbo new shit. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? He's dropping sporadically, man. But you know what I'm saying? We done heard some shit from Turbo. That's like, you know what I'm saying? The whole South 55 got their whole sound, but it's just different. Like, like what Turbo doing right now, what he working on, I don't, you know, want to just be like giving too much, but like it's just, you know, on a whole, it's a different feel, you know.
And so, like, what are your thoughts on the St. Louis creative scene?
Man,
I think we all making some fire ass music.
That's
right
what I
now,
was
to be
gonna
honest.
say.
It's like I be tuning in, man. It's like I don't really. It's like I feel like I listen to a lot of everybody in the city, and it's like everybody has their moments where it's like, damn, they really, you know what I'm saying, got the potential to straight do some crazy shit. And I feel like everybody doing that. If not everybody, then a majority of us, you know what I mean, as creators are doing that. And that's shout out to, you know what I'm saying, STL creators for that shit. But,
Yeah, I just kind of be hating, like, I hate the whole stigma, because I found out, especially through, like, hopping on apps like Clubhouse and shit, having conversations with other people in other cities, everybody got the same struggles, bro.
Yeah,
Everybody is like,
every
don't
city.
nobody support nobody, y'all only fuck with the
Yes.
popular people. It's like that for every city,
single city,
bro. So,
yes.
like, that whole conversation towards St. Louis, I kind of done phased out a little bit. Just like what Jordan was saying, like, I pay attention to the shit that I see. So, like, there's niggas that's making, like, moves like Eddie and, like, Jerry and Akita and, like, you know what I'm saying? Just people that are in the city making moves for themselves kind of thing. So that's the shit that I pay attention to. And that's the shit that I kind of, like, you know, reach out to.
Yeah, like even KB, the writer, yeah, like she dropped the deluxe bundle and shit. Like that's the type of shit inspirational. Like that's like damn near Nipsey Hussle type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like taking ownership of your career. Like that's dope to me. And I like a lot of faith. You know what I'm saying? Excitement, not as dope as something tangible like that she decided to do with her life. You know what I'm saying? And people support that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's fire. You know what I'm saying? If the St. Louis creative scene can grow into that, where we owning our art and just being proud of our art, then that'd be fire as hell. So hopefully that's where it's leading to.
So what else can your supporters expect from you following the release of this project?
Content.
Yeah, I got videos.
Like, content, like, for real. So,
Yeah.
like, we're dropping the video the same day of the actual album release and everything like that. So that's coming first. We're working on some BTS scenes from the video shoot that we have. More, like I said, just maybe like y'all might see some shorthand content, little funny little videos of us doing little funny shit, little skits or something like that. You know, to be continued.
I mean, it's and then we got some songs that didn't make the album. We got freestyles. We got different stuff that we're gonna basically be releasing in short order. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna turn up to something. You know what I'm saying? So Big Game Theory is pretty much like the primer. We're gonna drop videos off Big Game Theory. This is a full album. It's not like an EP. We actually, you know what I'm saying? And you heard Equinox, like, they need a video. You feel me? There's hella songs on there that need a video. You know what I'm saying? To fully visualize the story we was painting. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're gonna work on shooting those with Keaton. We already got plans to drop other stuff in the future. I'm gonna stay quiet on, but right now Solstice coming up next. So that's what to expect. That's to push the hell out of Solstice. Yeah, mama need to hear this shit.
On me.
The last song that y'all released before this was Jonas Brothers.
Right.
And so what has, as a collective, what have you guys learned about brotherhood? Like working together over the last couple of years?
Being open to criticism for sure. So like this year, I'd say, or at least this project alone, this was one of the things where like we really took more time and like criticize each other, but you know, of course, like where it will be helpful, of course. Niggas ain't going and being extra harsh.
No,
Like,
nah, man, it's
like,
trash.
oh, God, like, or like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe those criticisms might even just be an addition that one of us can add, kind of thing. So maybe we like what you did. Let me try and do this kind of thing, and add some extra vocals or something like that.
Yeah, and so that's something we hadn't done in the past. Even on Jonas Brothers, we didn't do that. And so like when we dropped Jonas Brothers, it's funny because we kind of like he said, we was rushing things out. So we kind of rushed that out. But that was one of the first songs we got another instrumentalist to add instruments to, and we kind of tried to grow the song beyond just, you know what I'm saying, with the beat. But yeah, we rushed it, tried to get it out, and I don't really like how I recorded my verse and stuff like that. So it didn't make the album, as you can see on track list. It's not an album. But that was one of our first songs for the whole Big Gang Theory session. Before it was called the Big Gang Theory, that was supposed to be on the album. And then through that song, we learned to be more patient with our music. You know what I'm saying? And like he said, add to each other's vocals to grow the song. Like sometimes Jordan ad-lib one of our verses, or you know what I'm saying, I ad-lib track 4 on the album, I don't have any verse or nothing, I just ad-lib the hook. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes adding that extra part can make the song the hit, you know what I'm saying? And so we kind of learned that you don't gotta add a whole verse every time to make a song. So yeah.
Okay, so let everybody know where they can stream your projects, where they can follow you guys, all of this stuff.
Follow us on Twitter at 4deep_. You know what I'm saying? And on Spotify at 4deep.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's just
It's
4deep.
4D. Big Gang Theory coming tomorrow.
4D.
420.
420.
420. There we go.
More deep.